So let's start with how autism is understood in Nanchang.
China has only known about autism for maybe about 20 years. And with the development of media and also the government, China has known more and more about autism. So the Chinese population now knows that autism exists, but they don't really know what autism is and what are the characteristics of autism are. A part of the population probably still thinks that autism is simply that they don't know how to socialize with people and how to interact with people. But still, compared to about 20 years before, this is already a very big improvement of what people know about autism. I also deeply believe that through the development of knowledge and also spreading of media, people will more and more understand what autism really is.
So is there any kind of stigma related to disabilities in general in China?
When people think about disability, they mainly think that this individual person is going to be a burden to the family, also a burden to society, and that they need people to take care of them and they can't be really independent. But what we also know is that a lot of people who have disabilities, they can still be useful to society and to their community, let it be through therapy or through education.
What kinds of services are available for families from the point that they are diagnosed until the individual becomes an adult?
The first step, when a parent has a feeling that this child develops different than others, the first thing they would do is to go to the hospital and seek for medical help. As soon as they get a diagnosis from the hospital or from the doctors are going to recommend them to go to preschool interventions. A lot of families are listening to what doctors say or recommend. To seek for a therapy center and start interventions. But there are also a lot of families that don't accept a diagnosis like this, and they are determined to believe that their kid is only developing a little later than others. And through that, they will miss the window where intervention would work best. But there are also a small group of parents who, even if they want to receive intervention or therapy, they cannot due to financial burden. So they just give up on it. So the families that choose to receive early interventions and the ones that develop really well have the chance to enter kindergarten and school like other kids. But there are also a group of children who are going to take the path of special needs education. And there are also a group of children who cannot attend either one of the systems, so they have to stay at home, and parents are going to stay at home with the children to take care of them. Children like these, when they grow up, the biggest problem for them is to find a job. The society and the system hasn't really developed a path for people like them yet. And a lot of the parents are very, very worried about the future of their children. So from the diagnosis of the child growing up, the government also provides some support for the children. This also helps a lot of the families on the financial part. From the diagnosis until them growing up, it's a very long way, and the support from society is also limited. This is also the reason why families are very worried and they think a lot about the future of the kid.
This ties into one of the questions that we have from one of our listeners, David Sharif. And he wants to know, how does the Chinese education system offer support to those with special needs?
Inclusive education is something that the Chinese government is trying to promote right now. The Chinese education system is slowly starting to include these kind of systems. But due to many aspects, it is impossible to offer a perfect inclusive education model up to this point. There are still limited special education teachers in these kind of inclusive schools, which makes it a problem. Right now, a lot of parents are joining the classroom to support their children, but of course, parents are still hoping that the Department of Education could help with this kind of lack of professionals. Right now, the parents are still playing a really big role in the education of their children, even though they're in school. But of course, there's also a big difference between the cities, since China is so big. Some of the further developed cities, they have a good education system for special needs children. They also have included special needs classrooms, especially for the kids. But with the growing population and also the growing diagnosis of autism, the resources they have, even in the further developed cities, it's still not enough. Many of their intervention centers are now also training teachers to join into the inclusive schools. But this also comes with a very high financial burden. Also, these special needs teachers, they can still not fulfill the requirements by the parents. First of all, there are not enough teachers. And second of all, the costs are very high.
You've been watching Autism Knows No Borders. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so let us know what you think in the comments section. Click here to watch this interview in its entirety. You can also find us on your favorite podcast app. Tune in each week for engaging conversations of how people across the globe are inspiring change and building community. Thanks for watching. Take care.